Hello and welcome to episode 5 of the show. It is currently Thursday, but more importantly, it is WrestleMania week. The first night of WrestleMania 40 is just 2 nights away, and the build to this year's WrestleMania has been very, very solid for the most part. One of the best builds in, well, at least the last 10 to 15 years. um, really enjoyed the main event programs between the Bloodline, Cody and Rollins McIntyre. Drew McIntyre, to me, no question, some of the best work of his career. The Bloodline story with heel Rock, especially ever since turning heel, has been can't miss, must see television. Heel Rock is with the best Rock. In any case, I figured that with WrestleMania being just 2 days away, I figured I'd go through the match card and essentially lay out what I would like to see happen at WrestleMania this year. Now, these are just like my personal preferences of what I would like to see these certain outcomes or storyline progressions be. So, just thought, let's have fun with this, shall we? Alright then, let's get started. Now, WWE has thankfully already announced what the matches on night 1 and night 2 are going to be, which I really appreciate. Now, one thing that I noticed is that all of Judgment Day's matches, Rhea versus Becky, the ladder match for the Tag Team Championships, and the LWO versus Santos and Dominic are all happening on night 1. So the first part of what I would love to see happen at WrestleMania is essentially the downfall of Judgment Day. I would have Judgment Day lose all 3 of these matches. I would have Becky beat Rhea and become the new Women's World Champion. I would have the LWO, Rey and Dragon Lee, defeat Dominic and Santos. And I would have Judgment Day, Balor and Priest lose the Tag Team Championships. Now, the Tag Team Championship scenario is a bit of a weird one because I'm not sure if they're going to hang one SmackDown belt and one Raw belt, or they're going to hang all 4 championships up there. But this transitions into the second thing that I would love to have happen at this year's WrestleMania, and that is unifying the Tag Team Championships. Now, full disclosure, I don't think this is going to happen. What I would like to see happen is one team, storyline wise, makes sense for it to be The Miz and R-Truth. Have them win this match. They hold the Raw and SmackDown Tag Team Championships. Night after Mania, we essentially retire both sets of titles and we bring in one set of unified Tag Team Championships that float between Raw and SmackDown. That is what I would like to see happen. However, what I think is going to happen is I do believe that R-Truth is going to be climbing the ladder and that he's going to pull down the Raw Tag Team Championships, and that he thinks that he and Miz have won the match. He's celebrating, but then Miz points up and says, hey, there's another set of titles. But then another team, which I think is going to be the new Catch Republic of Pete Dunne and Tyler Bate, they're going to pull down the SmackDown straps, and we have essentially the titles split again, and then we get new versions of these belts. And I don't think that's a good idea, to be honest, even though I think that's where they're going to be going with this, but I would much rather have one set of unified tag team championships that float between Raw and SmackDown. So that's what I would have happen in regards to Judgment Day. They lose all 3 matches, and the tag team championship scenario, I would have one set of unified titles, but unfortunately, I don't think we're getting that. Moving on to the Intercontinental Championship, Gunther versus Sami Zayn. Personally, I feel that this should have been a triple threat match with Gunther, Sami, and Chad Gable. With all the work he's done, I don't know how Chad Gable has been left off of WrestleMania 40, but I digress. Honestly, I'm a little torn on this because I could see both outcomes. I could see Gunther retaining, and I could also see Sami Zayn beating Gunther. Now, one thing it is important to remember is that Gunther, even though he's undefeated as the Intercontinental Champion, he is not undefeated in the WWE. Drew McIntyre, Ilya Dragunov, and Braun Breaker all have pinfall victories over Gunther. So, with that being said, I do believe that Sami Zayn, he had a great WrestleMania moment last year, but it's time for him to have his WrestleMania moment as a single. So I would have Sami Zayn beat Gunther for the Intercontinental Championship after interference from Chad Gable and the Alpha Academy, and they all celebrate together post match. And Chad Gable, Sami Zayn is an Intercontinental Championship program during the spring months. As far as Gunther goes, after WrestleMania, I'd have him still be booked dominantly, and personally, he is my pick to win Money in the Bank this year. I would have him win Money in the Bank in Toronto, and then call his shot at Bash at Berlin in Germany. Like, he can confront whoever, announce that he wants to compete for the World Championship in Berlin, and that's where we have Gunther crowned as a world champion in Germany. So that's how I would have this play out. The greatest story in pro wrestling right now, with the Bloodline feuding with Cody and Rollins and all these guys. Now, on night one, there are two matches involving the Bloodline: Jimmy versus Jey Uso, and the tag team main event of Cody and Seth versus Roman and The Rock. I would have Jimmy Uso beat Jey Uso. Look, it's no super secret to anyone. Jimmy Uso has absolutely zero momentum right now. He's got no heat. He's got no He's essentially the job guy of the Bloodline. Jey Uso, on the other hand, is one of the hottest acts in the company. The entrance, the yeet, the essentially everything. He's definitely been booked infinitely better than Jimmy has, and you want to really sell the idea of adversity and that everything is going wrong for the good guys and everything going the Bloodline way. That is why I would have Jimmy beat Jay, and then post-match Jimmy and Solo, they can, I don't know, put him through, I don't know, like 5 tables or something, essentially writing him off of night one and putting the idea out there that he might not make it to night two to help Cody. And the main event of night one, and again, no brainer, the Bloodline wins. Rock and Roman beat Cody and Rollins, and I would have Rock pin Cody during this match. I would have Rollins be laid out on the outside. We can have him be speared through the barricade or whatever. And Rock, him and Cody are just like going at it in the ring, and Cody essentially just falls to the Rock, and the Bloodline stands tall at night one. The closing shot of night one is Rock, Roman, Solo, and Jimmy standing tall over Cody's defeated body in the middle of the ring, and Rollins' defeated body at the outside of the ring. And a key element here, Rock got a pinfall victory for the Bloodline. Jimmy got a pinfall victory for the Bloodline. Solo, for some reason, is not in a match at WrestleMania, which I think is a little odd, but he's still like standing strong next to these guys. And Roman, even though he won the match, he didn't get the pinfall, which we'll get to later. Io Sky versus Bayley for the women's championship. Storyline wise, pretty simple. Bayley was betrayed by Damage Control. Only way the story ends is Bayley beating Io and becoming the new women's champion at WrestleMania. I mean, it's a no-brainer. The United States Championship: Logan Paul, Randy Orton, and Kevin Owens. Now, again, another no-brainer. It's about time Logan Paul loses the United States Championship. Putting the championship on him when they did was the right call. Definitely got the championship more exposure on social media. However, we need that championship back on TV. To be perfectly honest, I have no idea who you put the championship on. Going into WrestleMania back in January, I thought for sure the championship match was going to be Logan Paul defending against LA Knight, but I mean, It is what it is. I don't know if you put the belt on Kevin Owens or Randy Orton, but Logan Paul 1000% should lose that championship at WrestleMania this year. The World Heavyweight Championship match, Seth Rollins versus Drew McIntyre. This has been confirmed for night 2, and I do believe that CM Punk has been confirmed to be on commentary for this match. I would have this match open WrestleMania. Rollins comes in, defeated Drew McIntyre, as I mentioned earlier. Some of the best work, probably the best work of his entire career, to be perfectly honest. He's been great. I've been loving his promos and his character work. And again, another no-brainer. Drew McIntyre, absolutely, no questions asked, should beat Seth Rollins 1, 2, 3 at WrestleMania. He's the new World Heavyweight Champion. Celebrating, we have fireworks, we have everything going off, yada yada yada. Rollins is just like thrown to the outside, is just defeated. And after McIntyre wins, he's celebrating, he's taking in the crowd, his music is in the background, and this is what I would have happen. Punk being on commentary provides a lot of elements. But what I would have happen is this. I would have McIntyre call Punk into the ring to essentially taunt him. He holds the championship and was like, hey, this was supposed to be your moment, but it's my moment. I took this from you. Something along those lines. And then I would have Punk hit a low blow on McIntyre and like a roundhouse kick or maybe a shot to the back of the head with a microphone or something along those lines. And McIntyre is just down in the ring. He's getting back up, and then Judgment Day's music hits, and Damian Priest cashes in Money in the Bank right then and there, and he just beats down Drew McIntyre. 1, 2, 3. Damian Priest is the new World Heavyweight Champion. Why I'm doing this? 1, it furthers the Punk McIntyre story. 2, McIntyre gets his WrestleMania moment in front of a sold-out crowd, winning the World Championship. 3, I honestly have no idea how else we could have Damian Priest cash in Money in the Bank. I really do not. I think this is the best way. He gets a win, a title reign out of it. Plus, this kind of rejuvenates Money in the Bank, because the last time that the men's Money in the Bank was credible was when Dean Ambrose cashed it in 2016. That is the last time the Money in the Bank cash-in has felt impactful. This helps restore some of the intensity of Money in the Bank. Also, WWE just announced a show in Scotland, Clash at the Castle 2. Doing McIntyre versus Priest for the world title in Scotland, where McIntyre could win the belt in Scotland in front of his hometown, it literally writes itself. So that's why I would have all of this play out, which, once again, we get the belt off of Rollins, and this further progresses his storyline, where I do believe that Rollins is going to be turning heel and challenging Cody after, months down the road. Money in the Bank, it's taken care of. Punk McIntyre, it's furthered. McIntyre gets his WrestleMania moment in front of a sold-out crowd. That is how I would love to see this play out to open Night 2. And you want to start Night 2 off hot? I honestly can't think of a better way to kick off Night 2 of WrestleMania 40. Oh, and one thing that I forgot to mention, this also furthers the dissolution of Judgment Day, because a Judgment Day split is going to be coming at some point, and I feel like Damian Priest, the only member of Judgment Day to pick up a win on WrestleMania and walking out as world champion, that will just fuel his ego, which will get on the nerves of the rest of Judgment Day, and that will plant the seeds for the inevitable split of the Judgment Day. And finally, our main event for Night 2 of WrestleMania 40. Roman Reigns defending the undisputed WWE Universal Heavyweight Championship against Cody Rhodes for the second year in a row. Last year, when this match was announced for WrestleMania 39, I was all for Cody winning. However, as the build progressed and that 1,000-day milestone appeared closer and closer, a part of me knew that Cody wasn't winning. Like, it was very 60-40, 60 on Roman retaining and 40 on Cody winning. And at the end of the night, when Reigns won, while I was upset, I accepted it because I knew that where they were going with this. However, the reign has more than overstayed its welcome. It is time. It is literally now or never when it comes to Roman dropping the world title. For numerous reasons, but the most pressing one being, if Roman retains the championship, let's say he beats Cody for a second year in a row, where does he go from there? Who beats him? At that point, he might as well retire as a champion because there will be no one who would be believable enough to beat him. And the fans are already starting to get a little tired of Roman's reign. A lot of people are calling for him to drop the championship. And with Cody, if he loses for a second year in a row, I have no interest in him chasing this for a third year. It is literally now or never. Cody has to win. The closing visual of WrestleMania 40 is Cody raising the world title over Roman Reigns with the fireworks and the confetti and everything going off. Now, this match is going to be Bloodline rules, because one of the biggest criticisms of last year's main event was the interference and how the referees looked like idiots. Here, being that it is going to be essentially no DQ, I mean, that's going to be more accepted. Now, Rock, Jimmy, and Solo are all going to be behind Roman. And with Cody, with the way Night 1 opens and the beatdown that Jay takes on at Night 1 in his match with Jimmy, Cody is essentially all by himself. And I would have the closing, as not the closing sequence, but during the match towards the tail end. You have essentially Cody in the ring, and you've got a member on the four corners. You've got Rock, Roman, Solo, and Jimmy, each corner of the ring. And then we have John Cena's music hit. We have Rollins' music hit. We have Jey Uso's music hit. And we get the glass shattering, and Stone Cold Steve Austin comes out. These four, they march down to the ring, and they literally take on the Bloodline. Very Avengers Endgame-esque, with the Avengers taking on Thanos' army of the Chitauri. Have this be an Avengers, like, cinematic type deal, where the good guys are battling the bad guys, Clash of the Titans type thing. They're all going at it. Rock, Solo, Jimmy are all taken out by Rollins, Jay, Cena, and Austin. These 7 guys are completely out of the equation. And Cody, Roman, they're in the ring. They go back and forth. Cody, he counters a spear, and I would have him throw an homage to the EVPs, like back to the Elite. If possible, I would have Cody hit a buckshot lariat, a super kick, and a one-winged angel as tributes to the Bucks, Hangman, and Kenny Omega. And the closing sequence, I would have him hit Roman with 3 crossroads. 1, 2, 3. New champion. Cody raises the belt. Reigns is going to be off of TV, I'm positive, coming out of WrestleMania. And Cody can take that world title and elevate it to even higher than to where Reigns took it. Reigns was great for the World Championship for a long, long time. He has elevated that belt and made it feel like the championship in WWE at certain points. However, now it's time for a change, and Cody is that guy. And Personally, I can't wait to see where they go with him as world champion. In any case, that's how I think WrestleMania 40 should end. That's how I would book certain elements of WrestleMania this year. I'm excited to see how night 1 and night 2 both play out. And yeah, this is honestly the most excited I've ever been for a WrestleMania that I can remember. And well, I'm looking forward to it. Anyways, that's all for today. Thank you for tuning in, and see you on the next one. Till then, take care.